she's not much older than 20. Oh, can I go this way? Now, I would just guess midnight to 6. Yeah, these are, oh, and that's also, it's got meters. No, I think I'm still too close into these huge buildings here. Anywhere. Blocks of huge buildings. That's neat. No, because I'm looking and I see, God, that woman, I could, to say something about her, the embroidery on her dress. I mean, she's like Muslim, black Muslim, conservatively, well, except this incredible embroidery. Traditional, religious, but incredible embroidery. Certainly wouldn't be any sort of phony thing for me to say, wow, that's a beautiful, the embroidery on your dress, ma'am, is really very nice. And depending on how she responded, if her smile made me feel good, and smiles do. Smiles are just so powerful. Well, I might want to see what I can do. Not to butter her up, so as to get something from her, but to kind of butter her up and eat her. No, I'm just kidding. Put some butter on her. May I lick the butter off of your, I don't know. You just walked through a tub of these big tubs of butter. Can I lick it off your feet? I hope you washed before we did this. That's a kind of buttering up. Okay, so where am I? I believe that I am close to where I parked, but I'm not really sure. Leahy House. What is this? This is a big place, like a college. Oh, Newark, Essex County, Robert Treat Academy Central. Okay, that's a place I'm going to stay away from. School, anything that. Okay, now, I believe. That's sad. I mean, that person, whether it's a woman or I can't tell, and it could be a transsexual, beautiful dreads, but this person has no teeth, and that's a major part of why I can't tell. Oh, wait a minute, where am I? This is where. Wow. Yeah, I mean, what scenery? Society Hill at University Heights. That's where I'm going, to that building. It's an easy walk. Now, yes, I'm pretty sure these, you have to pay. They have the cut-off heads. And that means, I'm almost positive, that means you got to pay. You got to have some kind of you pay. What the fuck? Where do you pay? I don't want to have any part of this place that doesn't tell you. Was I here? I don't think so. This seems a little too. I gotta pee. I have to use my pee pot, which I should not be doing. In a crowded place. This would be an okay. Oh. Beautiful day today, isn't it? Yes. I'm not gonna pee over there. Yeah, I want to pee. That's why I stopped. It's the only reason I'm stopping. pee. Always, okay. It's essential that I Oh, stop. No, it's not. It's essential that I not do this here. This is a terrible place to do this. Well, but wait a minute. It's not a it's no place. It's not a terrible place. I just have to be careful. This guy is not going to be staring into my, and he doesn't, he sees that I'm peeing into a cup, he's not going to be all that upset about it. I don't want a woman or a child. Certainly to see my privates. Not because I care, but because they care. That's why. That's the only reason. See, there's not that much pee. Yeah, even if people saw what I'm doing, they wouldn't care. The only thing is, like, being obvious about it. Of course people have to go to the bathroom, you see. This is the way I tend to be. Okay, so anyway. Well, so do I have another one in my pocket? What do I have in my pocket? An alkaline or a carbon zinc? Carbon zinc. That should last me for the next, short amount of time. Okay, let's see. Heavens, it's a little bit silly. Truly is a beautiful, magnificent day out. If you don't mind, I'm going to indulge in something that I only do occasionally. It's not very good for me to do. But it's done for a few reasons. Actually, it's an aesthetic thing. It's a showman thing. Oh, frick me. What did I just do? I know it's a nasty habit of smoking. I know. This looks like a joint. But it's not. It's menthol. So you take out the old... No, this is kind of very old-fashioned. So here are the papers, and here's the tobacco. It's not top quality, but I don't really. As it is, this is a habit better observed in the breach than what it in fact is. I light up and I thing about tobacco, what's more like a cigar really to me. I do not want this shit in my lungs, so I don't. I want it to. Actually, that's more interesting anyway. I like to look at the ash. Oh, actually the ash is probably something very worthy of. No, let's see, we want it right in the middle. Well, that's all right, I can adjust my hand. Okay, let's try to get this. We want it to focus in just the right place. We don't want it to focus on that fence. This is wrong. You see, you're focusing the wrong way, bro. It's kind of interesting. What can I do? What if I bring it closer? What if I bring it... Oh, I can't deal with it. Okay, we got to go back out. This isn't going to work. Actually, I got to stop this stupid thing. It's too much smoke. I was hoping... So, I just need to do this. It's part of my role, you know. When you just exhale it like that, it's more like a cigar. You get more taste. And actually, it could be a bit much, like a cigar. I mean, when I smoke a cigar, I usually smoke one puff. And then because it's all downhill after that. I don't know. I mean, if it's a $40 cigar or something, maybe I'll have 3 or 4. There's a bird up there. A white bird. White bird just sits in a cage, growing old. White bird must fly, or she will die. White bird must... You know, it's a good thing to do. So part of learning who I am this occasional smoker. And it's important because smells are very important to me. And smoking is very much about smells. Today, oh, okay, anyway, I'm sorry, I've got to. So, as we were saying when we met, you remember, it's right in front of my house. We saw Freya Tintin. Still a little new. Freya Tintin is one word. That's her name. Her name is Freya Tintin. Yes. I said her name is Freya Tintin. And if you don't want to believe me, you have the right. If you want to show your displeasure at the assertion that I just made, do you know of any way to get rid of yellow? I mean, actually, my teeth are not that yellow. It's just the light. Believe you me. But I do have a little yellowing. That's from the smoking. So, but wait a minute. I thought you said just learning to smoke. Yes. Good. Smoking cigarettes, yeah. I have had... well, I'm not going any farther than that. Partly because it's nobody's business unless they're interested. And if you want to ask more, you can ask more. You're always welcome. You're welcome to ask. Now, let's see, what are we doing with this? Is it this? Oh, good. Oh, that's better, isn't it? It's a much better, although that's not so good with the light. Well, it's because it's too far. I just need to do this, and then it'll get better, right? That's better. You don't need to see me very distinctly, right? I don't need to see myself. In fact, it's better. Because if I really look at that, it's not the same as looking at that. you know, I used to think I had to explain everything. There we go again. Oh, Godsford. Oh, God. There God goes. You know, how I get this nickname, you know. You can call me God if you want, but just make sure that if you call me my name, that you pronounce it properly. Because if you don't pronounce my name properly, it triggers one of my paranoid schizophrenic episodes. Because as we all know, paranoid schizophrenia is like bipolar. It's not much different. And, you know, all of a sudden, somebody could be complete. You see, the bipolar version of schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, is somebody who flips from being normal, acting normal, to being crazy, which is really what they are all along. That's the bipolar notion. A more reasonable one is a notion of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a state of disorganization. State is not the right word. Well, yes, and it can come and go. That's the thing, and it all has to do with the specifics. You know, it's the way the brain organizes. In schizophrenia, it's highly problematic, to put it in a kind of blunt, you know, just straightforward. It's a problem. People who have schizophrenia really need some help and supervision and understanding and admiration for who they are, because actually there's no tie between intelligence and whether you have schizophrenia or not. I mean, there's studies that's blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I seem to remember some. Oh, people with schizophrenia, in fact, have lower cognitive functioning. Really? You know, all the stuff that's supposed to be so, you know, this is right. Because this is right. Often when you dig down underneath, you go, this is bullshit. It's bullshit. Just because you say it, that don't mean that it's so, you know. You got to deep six your wristwatch. You got to try and understand the movements of the moment are just as small as they are grand. Do, 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 do. Walk in the sunshine. Take a bite of a nice Florida orange. And buy Florida orange juice. And by the way, God says homosexuality is a sin. I have a flip. I have a flip. I was Miss America at one time. I have a flip. I have a flip. But I can't twitch my nose like Barbara Eden in Bewitched, and from whom Sarah Palin learned how to. I can't. About. Think about how much work Sarah Palin got into that little thing. You can imagine her hours and hours. Think of her in Mean Girls. Oh, who would Sarah Palin play in Mean Girls? Probably none of the characters as they are, but maybe some, you know, if we could take from the different characters. You know, like the real rich bitch, or the sexy little kid. Oh, what a kid. Oh, Sarah. Prayer. Oh, Tina. Tina, you are a genius. To say just word for word what Sarah Palin said. It was... You didn't even have to... All you did was try your best to be like Sarah Palin really is. It's pretty hard. You're a genius. That's all there is to it. How can anybody be so fucking stupid? What magazines do you... What magazine? That's who I thought I saw. Her. What's her name? You know, not Katie Couric. No, Katie Couric. Not Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin is Tina Fey. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm terrible with names. I mean, I know about 6 names. There's Tina Fey. I know more. But I go, okay, Tina Fey, Robin Williams, John Cleese, Marty Feldman, Gene Wilder, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, the funniest guy around. And would you like to buy what is... No, Tom Cruise is the Scientologist, but isn't Mel... Oh, he's a fucking anti-Semite. Fuck. Excuse my French, Mr. Fuckhead Gibson. You, who are holier than I. Oh, fuck you. Okay, anyway, end of the Mel Gibson thing. Anyway, end of the Mel Gibson thing. We're so over that. So, yeah, oh no, I meant, of course, I didn't mean fucking Gibson, Mel fucking Gibson. Brooks! It's the name of my brother-in-law. You know, whenever I talk about my brother-in-law, people say, is that the remnant of that famous stutter that you used to have? The one that got you almost kicked out of Columbia School of Social Work? By what was her name? Oh, Muriel. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say her last name. It might not be Muriel. She was a piece of work, I'll tell you. But, you know, the more I do my work, which is to be a thorn in the side of people who are pieces of work, I get to see you guys firsthand. Now, the question is, when I say you guys, who am I talking to? Am I talking to you, or am I talking to the person next to you? Or your mother, or your teacher, or your boyfriend, or your mistress, or whatever it is. Whomever, he, she, or they. Ah, the hermaphrodite. A true they. I find it so silly. They. I mean, I understand it. I still do S/HE, etc. Until I just get tired of it, and then I just say her all the time. And let the reader figure it out. Come on. Himmer. That's right. I think I'm just going to start doing that. Why not? We could all do that. We can make a... So, say... She... Sure. No. His, her. His, her. Yeah, we should just have his, her. Or we should make it... We should mix it up. I mean, it shouldn't matter. You should do whatever the fuck you want to do. In fact, why not do it with whoever you're thinking of? If this is something that's more likely... If I'm talking about a kind of person who is more likely to be a male, I'll say his, her. If his, her, who's he wants, you know? Whereas, what's his or who? Who's he wants? When? With whom? Very interesting. No, this is long. Oh, This is Rowan and Martin laughing. Very interesting. So they just had this guy. I'm forgetting his name. He was an interesting guy. He played this kind of Nazi kind of guy with a monocle. Then he had a cigarette and a an FDR kind of thing, and slicked down hair, very Germanic. Oh, with a cravat, whatever those things are called, silk. And he usually was sitting, but maybe sometimes standing. I don't know. But you get a side view, so you get his profile. You put this cigarette up like that, or I forget. I don't know. Do you remember? Do you remember? Anyway, what he would say, he would go, it would just be something else is happening. All of a sudden, boop, 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 ah! And then this guy was there, and he'd go, very interesting, but stupid. Anyway, very interesting, but stupid. Very interesting indeed. But a bit on the stupid side. Ah! So, here we are in the middle of Newark, New Jersey. Well, it would be Jersey if it had no, it wouldn't. It would have to have a U. And then it would be a Guernsey. Guernsey cow figured prominently in Bob Dylan's 115th Dream. Wasn't there another one? I mean, he didn't sing about all of his dreams. The thing about Bob Dylan, who actually, if you didn't know, his name is not Dylan. No, his name is not Bob Dylan. No. His real name is Dylan Thomas. And it was that drove him away from Hibbing, Minnesota, to the capital of Minnesota. I think it's called Lake Wobegon. I'm not sure, but no, what are you talking about? Lake Wobegon? My God, what the frick are you talking about? That's just something pigment of Harrison Guiler's Figmaginslation, Nah. I told him, I said, sir, just like Mark Twain said, when he was 13, his father didn't know anything. And he was amazed at how much his father had learned in 7 years. I mean, when he was 20. Holy shit, how could my father learn so much in a mere 7 years? So I was explaining that to Garrison in his dressing room. And just by the way, since not everything I say is true, for you beginners, it's going to be obvious. In fact, maybe I won't tell you if this is true or not. I'll just make it clear to you that it is true, instead of telling you. So I was in his dressing room. I had snuck in. I got a free ticket. Well, somebody had an extra ticket and he wanted to sell it. So was beginner. It was going to be a piece of paper, and I thanked him profusely. I kissed his feet. I gave him a blow. No, I didn't. Not on the sidewalks of New York. On the sidewalks of New York. The blank job on the sidewalks of New York. The blow blank on the sidewalks of New York. Oh, yes! You would be surprised what it can get you. I mean, even if you're not really predisposed toward that particular activity, everybody who does it finds it at least somewhat pleasurable, unless they're being, raped or something, or mistreated. Mistreated, that's all. That's the difference. If you engage in sexual activities with people who treat you like a human being, it's wonderful. I mean, it can still lead to problems. Sex is, what a pain in the butt sex is. Really, especially if it's rough.